Welcome back, folks, to Luigi's Mansion. In this part, we get to catch 2 more portrait ghosts.
Oh my
and
god,
fight
2 more.
vampires.
Yeah, 2 more portrait ghosts.
Holy cow. They're just gonna
one
keep
of them
wandering
is-
around this mansion, opening doors occasionally.
I think Luigi
What
deserves
is
a
a
bit of a break.
ghost? A miserable pile of secrets.
Are they, though? Sorry, if that was a reference, that one went right
These
over
ghosts
my
are pretty
head.
Oh,
transparent. That was a pun, I didn't even mean it. Oh my god.
boy.
Oh my god. Guys, that was really
this
good.
may
That
be
was
the
a good
first
one.
time
That
Dan.
was a good
Hold
one.
on, well, I need to mark this in the calendar because I think this is the first time Dan has legitimately made a pun in any
I
part.
didn't even mean to, but you know what? I think that was a pretty good one.
that was a good one.
It was pretty good. It just goes to show that the pun making is contagious among the 3 Amiibros.
Again, did not mean to, but sure.
That's how it starts, Dan. That's how it starts. Oh boy, look at that. There it is. That
Combo.
oh,
It's pretty good.
20 years from now when I make a highlight reel of all our stuff, that is gonna lead everything. Anyway, back to the game.
Man. This game seems okay.
Ultra combo.
It's alright.
I really love this game. I don't know, I think it's probably nostalgia for me at this point, but you know, it's always fun to go back to this game, catch some ghosts. It's not particularly difficult. After playing it for years, I sort of know like the optimal path to take to get an A ranking and, you know, catch all the ghosts. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess
been pretty fun.
it's like a comforting thing for you, right? Like, it's just sort of like, you know, this is a game that like you don't have to think too much about. You know it really well and whatever.
Yeah,
Go play it once in a while.
Yeah, but it's so comforting to. It's so comforting to murder all those ghosts.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm over it.
Oh, so
I'm
now
not
it's
over
okay.
Madame
All right.
Clairvoyant because oh my god.
It's part of her story arc.
Look, it's in the past. Everyone's got to take time to heal. It's fine.
Never forget.
It's a good attitude to have.
Never forgetty. Mom spaghetti.
Actually, it's funny that we say we're over the ghost hunting now because we're about to catch a little girl named Soupy.
Cool.
Oh god, really?
Cool thing to
Soupy
do.
probably has one of the most pressing backstories. She died in her sleep.
Oh, great. How many?
You're welcome.
Okay,
You're
well,
welcome, folks.
I feel like I know the answer to this, but how many creepypastas are there about Luigi's Mansion?
You know what? I haven't bothered looking it up because this game in and of itself is pretty much a creepypasta with some of these ghost backstories.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if there were more regular Mario characters in this game would basically be a Mario creepypasta.
I mean, if you guys have checked out the beta build of this game that I think they released at like E3 back in, what was it, 2000, 2001, the original like art for this game was pretty terrifying. Like
Really?
the
I
game, the
didn't
game,
know
the
that.
game,
You
the
keep
game over
referenced that a few
screen.
times. I gotta see. I need to see what it is.
Yeah, I believe part 8 that's going out in a week or this week. It has the thumbnail I used is Luigi from the beta build, and he looks pretty morbid. I'm not gonna lie.
Great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So, how does it feel to be killing a dead little girl?
I mean, they're already dead. This Soupy I feel a little worse about because she's literally just minding her own business. Like, she's literally just trying to sleep. This must be pretty traumatic for her since she died in her sleep as well. Oh god, it's all coming together. But we took care of her, so that's all right. It's good. The next side we get is a bit of a jerk, so it all bounces out at the end. Karma.
Oh man, Luigi's looking pretty rough in this. I think I'm looking at a screenshot of the beta build. Is it this thing where he's got sort of like this like weird like super pudgy face that's all mopey?
Yeah, he's like really like gaunt.
Yeah, jeez.
That's it.
That's cool.
Yeah, this game, I think I also mentioned it before, but this game used to have a time limit, so if you didn't save Mario at a certain amount of time, it'd be game over. That would have made this game... I think they should have like kept that as a challenge run, like an extreme mode after you beat the game, because I think that would have been really cool.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's actually one of the things I don't like about the original Pikmin.
The time limit?
Yeah, and it actually led me to never actually beat that game as a kid. I've been meaning to like go back to it to beat it, but the fact that there was a time limit always got on my nerves because it's like, what if I don't have time to collect all these parts?
I mean, Majora's Mask handled it pretty well.
Majora's Mask handles it well if you play the 3DS version. The N64 version is a bit of a mess.
I will agree with that.
I mean, but yes, I would say the 3DS version is great, and it's very easily my favorite Zelda game that I've played thus far. But
Play Wind Waker.
yeah, I'm gonna listen. I've been needing to take a break from like any games that are long, so I've only been playing like short games or like roguelikes or Overwatch or like games that I can just like pop in for like half an hour and be like, all right, that was good, and then hop back out because I just need smaller stuff right now. But I will get to Wind Waker. I need to play through a couple Wii U games that I own that I have not beaten because the Switch is coming out, and I want to make sure I've got all my Wii U, bows tied up before I pick that up and start getting a bunch of new Nintendo games, basically.
So,
I can't wait for that.
Let's talk about that for a bit. What do you guys think of the Switch?
I think it looks awesome. It's exactly what I
looks
want,
great. Yep,
and I
can't
hope
wait.
it works properly.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about it. I am depressed that they are throwing away the Wii U after all this. And
but they were
You know
going
what?
to.
I think
Like,
the
that was-
Switch
that
is
was a
what
known
they. I
quantity.
think the Switch is what they wanted the Wii U to originally be. Like this is
Probably.
sort of yeah.
I'm
But
not
they
so
just-
sure
they
about
just couldn't
that,
make
just
it at the
because the
time.
Wii U still fits into. I mean, Nintendo's sort of been doing this like big 2-screen experiment for the past decade or so, and the Wii U is sort of like the home version of that, and so it makes sense as sort of the culmination of those things, like of the DS, 3DS, and then Wii, or
Not
Wii
exactly
U rather.
though, because if you look up like what they've released about the system so far, it won't have 2 screens. It's
No,
just the one.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the Wii U was like sort of the end of that phase of Nintendo, and the Switch is sort of the start of a new one, especially one that is kind of doing console and handheld in one, which is super smart, and taking a lot of sort of concepts of the Wii U, at the very least having like a tablet controller, and
Though what worries me about that though is like, what does that mean for the 3DS? Because they
Oh,
kind
it's
of
done,
need the
100%.
No, the 3DS kind of needs to exist because it's expensive to make games. Making games on the 3DS is actually relatively cheap. And if they have it so that the only Nintendo game you can make is like some huge HD thing and also on mobile, then developers may or may not warm up to that.
Well, no, that's not true though, right? I mean, the thing with any console or any PC or anything is like you can make a whole variety of games with them. That's why Nintendo has an indies program in the first place. Those games are all
Which
games
I'm
that
part
are
of, actually.
small, and like, easy to run, could run on pretty much anything. So it's the same thing. Like, just because you have a powerful console doesn't mean you need to use all of those things. And the whole point of the Switch is that it allows Nintendo to have all of their developers not split between 2 platforms and have them all into one thing, which is actually really great and really smart.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that when you when you're designing a game, you sort of design it for like a certain, I guess, space to be played in. Like, you design a console game for somebody who is just literally sitting there on their couch and doing something. You design like a Wii game for somebody to use it in their living room. If you design it sort of design-wise, it becomes a bit of a paradox or a little bit of a sort of problem to sort of tackle when suddenly somebody could be playing this in their house, on their couch, or outside on the bus.
No, I disagree though.
I
because
disagree
it's
with
like something like let's take something concrete, like something like Guacamelee, for example. Guacamelee is like a decent game. It's made by Drinkbox. They're from Toronto. It's basically just like a Metroidvania with some other stuff, and that was on literally every console, handheld, home, PC, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
And like, it doesn't matter, right?
And not only that, but like, sorry, Jordan, because like the whole thing with cross saves, like I actually had a blast with what was it? Thomas Was Alone with those cross saves, because I could play that game on my Vita when I was at the laundromat. This is a true story. I was at the laundromat playing that game, and then I was home. And I'm like, you know what? I wish I could play this game on on the TV now that I'm on my couch. Oh wait, I can. I uploaded the cross save and was able to continue right away. I think that's the same sort of logic that the NX is taking. You can literally just plug and play wherever and whenever.
Yeah, plus it's almost
Well,
like
yeah,
it's like the Wii U, but in a way that actually works. Because like one of the cool things about the Wii U is like, oh, I can just play this game on this screen, which makes it really good if you cohabitate, if you're like living with a family or whatever. It's really good because I can just be like, oh, they can watch TV and I can still play the game I was playing. The issue with the Wii U is that it sucks that you have a system that you have to have tethered to it that does not have a lot of space. So this basically just cuts out the middleman and says like, oh yeah, all those console games you want to be able to play on the road, you don't have to bring a huge console with you anymore. You just play the damn games, which is great.
Yeah, no, I will disagree. Like some what you guys were saying before, because yes, some games can be played can be very malleable and played in like different sorts of spaces. But I mean, like one good example, like especially in this case, is Pokemon. And I know a lot of people asked and say, why don't they bring Pokemon to consoles? Pokemon is not really a franchise you bring to consoles because its main strength is the fact that you go out and that you are playing it on a handheld system and that you use it to socialize with people in front of you. That was like the main appeal of a lot of what the core of the game was when it first came out, and it still really is. I think if you sort of put that into a console environment, you lose a lot of that. It does, and that's something that online just cannot sort of circumvent.
No, but that functionality doesn't get taken away. The functionality is still there. It just also, you can play it at home now. And also, you can have the resources for, like, you know, if you think about, like, the last couple of Pokemon games, which, like, they look pretty good, but, like, they have really shitty frame rates, like, Pokemon Company's not good at optimizing their games. They look good, but there's like a lot of jaggies everywhere, and it like a lot of the time there's frame rate stuff on a turn-based game, which is kind of crazy. And it's like, okay, now you have all of the power of an actual console, and you can still take it in mobile.
Yeah, we'll see. And like, I think the Switch might, or who knows? Maybe the Switch will fix that. But that's basically my main argument against having a main series Pokemon game on a console, because it does not have that social aspect, which is a huge part of what Pokemon is.
But I just don't understand why that seems like it's gone, because that console. I mean, they have said like, oh yeah, this is meant to be a home console, and like we're still going to develop for the 3DS. That's definitely a lie. They're definitely not going to.
I'm not saying that's gone. I'm not saying it's gone. It's just that when you have something that can be both portable and a console, then that sort of becomes a hurdle to design around when it comes to the experience you want to create.
But like a Pokemon game at this point, everyone knows what a Pokemon game looks like, and I think the Pokemon Company is very uninterested in actually in changing that formula. And like, if they want to make another Pokemon game, they're just going to make another Pokemon game. There's not going to be anything special about it. I mean, they'll add in some new features, they'll do some new stuff. I actually quite like some of the things they've talked about for Sun and Moon, and those are like small sort of quality of life changes, and that's really great. But like, the idea of what a Pokemon game is not going to change because it's on a new console. It's going to be the same basic game.
Yeah, we'll see.
Guys, I caught Jarvis in one shot. How's that? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, so here we are talking about Pokemon and their ghost being murdered.
No, I'm surprised this wasn't the first tangent we came up with for the last episode. No, but I agree. Like, I was playing, I'm blasting through Spirit of Justice right now, the Phoenix Wright game, and yeah, the thought occurred to me at one point: what does this mean for like a series like this that have lived on the 3DS for so long? Like, are they gonna start making them for the Switch, or are they gonna go to? I don't know. I don't know what's in store with for the series like those that have lived on the handheld for so long.
There are so many, like, with the way modern video games work, there are so many different ways to buy games, right? There's physical stuff, there's digital stuff. I mean, really, there's just those two things. But like, those things are of different scales, right? Like, there's on the 3DS, like, you get a box copy, you get like a boxed game versus a game that's on like the eShop for $10. It's like, that you're getting sort of different scales of experience there. And I don't see why that has to go away at all. I definitely agree that like, yeah, there are some games that you think of as portable games for sure. Pokemon is like a great example. The Phoenix Wright games are a great example too. But like, I can't imagine those games going away just because the console also is a home console, right?
Right. So the question becomes how are they gonna move forward in terms of being like a series and a franchise?
I assume
main-
they'll just be
my main-
pretty much mostly digital, and that's fine. That's great.
My main problem is my main question is will this change the costs for different developers? Because if that's a huge factor as well. That's why I like the 3DS has a whole lot of titles, because it's not a very expensive thing to develop for.
So I actually think, and I know we're going overboard a little bit, but I actually think it actually makes it a lot easier. I mean, a more powerful set of hardware makes it easier to develop generally, unless you're doing something really specialized, like the cell structure of the PS3, which was a thing that no one really knew how to use properly. This is just pretty much a basic NVIDIA specialized set of stuff, and it's what that means is because you don't have to deal with so many hardware constraints like you would on a handheld console, it's actually a lot easier to make games that are not as demanding on hardware.
Yeah, then you have to deal with the standards of people expect things to look better, which means that means a lot of more development time, and then that drives the cost up. I think that it's going to be weird just seeing how that turns out. I'm on the Nintendo developer program, so I'm waiting to sort of analyze my own my own sort of software when that ends up coming out, but I don't know. We'll see.
Sure.